Austin Theory was touted as the next big thing in professional wrestling in 2020, right before the pandemic hit. And he was seen as the biggest talent, the best talent in wrestling that was there at the time. But nothing like that has ever materialized, and he hasn't turned out to be the star that everyone expected him to be. But why is it so? Why has Austin Theory never turned out to be the star that he was supposed to be? Why has he never accomplished all those goals? Why has he never become the mega star, the main event John Cena-esque star that everyone wanted him to be, or even at least expected him to be? Everyone at the company, all the fans, all the fellow wrestlers. But nothing like that has ever happened. This was too important of a topic to not talk about and not put a video on the internet about, and I don't see anyone talk about it either. So I decided to take the initiative and put it on the internet for everyone to see. Welcome to the channel, and today we're going to talk about why Austin Theory has not turned out into the star that he was supposed to be, and how he could possibly do that in the future. Theory did not spend much time in NXT. He was on the main roster in just 2 months, and his main roster run started with a bang. I mean, some might even say that it did. He was paired with Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy when Rollins was the whole Messiah thing. He had it, the whole Messiah gimmick. But then Theory was sent back to NXT, where he was paired with Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, and Indy Hartwell. And to me, it wasn't much of a strong period, even though some people, like fans of Johnny Gargano, would consider it to be. But I'm not one of them. So in 2021, Austin Theory was brought back to the main roster, where it seemed like Vince McMahon had developed a strong liking for him. I mean, if anyone remembers the whole Golden Egg storyline, the Cleopatra's Golden Egg storyline, where Vince would handle a world title opportunity to the winner there. It was sort of similar to Money in the Bank. It's just that everyone wanted to find out who would get the golden egg. And Theory was having the whole selfie guy gimmick at the time, which was ridiculous to me. But, anyways. And then the golden egg was given to Theory. If anyone remembers that segment with Vince, Theory, and Sami Zayn, who also was on a great run at the time. Theory was then given a world title opportunity versus Big E, who was the world champion at the time, and he lost. But it still seemed like Theory was slated for big things. I mean, he was called a protege of Vince. He was pinned last by Brock Lesnar in the Elimination Chamber. He also had a big match versus McAfee at WrestleMania. He helped Vince beat McAfee. And then Stone Cold came out and Theory got stunned by him. I think being stunned, getting stunned by Brock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, sorry, not Brock Lesnar, but Stone Cold Steve Austin, is an honor to me. And he sold it really well. He was turning around, he was jumping up and down in that cell. I don't know how to describe it. Theory then won the US title from Finn Balor, but he lost it and then won the Money in the Bank briefcase. And he was the youngest winner of the briefcase. And they had a big opportunity with that. They could have done something with that, but none of that ever happened. And it was an unsuccessful cash in. This was one of the first wasted opportunities with Theory that the company ever took. Theory was then made the US champ again at Survivor Series, and he had big retentions against big names like Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, Edge, and even in Elimination Chamber. He defended against John Cena, the dream match that should have been against him. Or at least it was for me, and probably many others who saw what I see in Austin Theory. And it was the right choice for a match at WrestleMania. Cena versus someone who is seen as the modern day potentially next Cena, and he retained it against Cena at WrestleMania. But then he lost it to Rey Mysterio. And in the second half of 2023, then he was featured in a segment with The Rock, where The Rock didn't have the kindest of words to say to him. And I know some people might say that some of his downfall started when John Cena said some harsh things about him in that promo, and some might even say that it buried him. But I don't think so. I think he still could have done something. I think he still could have been something at the time, but none of that ever happened. And it has been the story with Theory's career so far that none of what everyone thought would happen has ever happened. And Theory has since been featured with Grayson Waller in the tag team, and although they have won the belts, it just hasn't been the same. It hasn't been the same for Theory, it hasn't been the same for Waller. And they have been featured with stars in main event or upper card status, but Theory has always been shown to be weaker than he ever has been, and he has been taking too many unnecessary pins. And in my opinion, Theory is one of the best talents in the business. He can cut an excellent promo. He looks great. I mean, he just looks better and better every time. He is incredible in the ring. I think everybody knows that. He shows it every time. He's got the charisma. He is a natural heel. He has the power to draw audiences in. He has the power to influence the masses. But he has not been given enough opportunities. Theory reminds me of the young days of John Cena and Randy Orton. And I know I'm not that old to comment on that, but at least I can see the clips, and anyone old enough would tell you the same. But I don't know if the company has plans for him. I don't know whoever is booking or writing the show has plans for him, or even Waller. And I'm not the biggest fan of Grayson Waller, but something could be done with him. Some major things could be done with Austin Theory, but none of it is actually being done. Also, Theory has great facial expressions. I forgot to mention it. He is a prodigy. He is everything that a young wrestler should be. But his years are just being wasted. So, what should be done to make Theory's career better? The first thing should be done is splitting him up from Grayson Waller. He should become a singles competitor again. He should make a strong promo about his status in the company, his ambitions for the future, and whatever the next pay per view is, maybe the company has some plans for him for WrestleMania. I hope they give him a spot at WrestleMania. I hope they at least have him show himself out there. I hope they do at least something with him that makes everyone just care for him. I think if Theory could somehow get over enough, if he could somehow get fans to rally behind him, if he could somehow get the attention of all viewers, if he could somehow win the fans back over again. And I think everyone still believes in him. It's just that he hasn't had the opportunities to show it. I think he could still be one of the biggest stars. I think he could still be in the main event scene. I think he could still be one of the faces of the company, one of the faces of the business. Well, the company is the business these days. But I think he could be much farther ahead than where he is right now. And he could contribute to the business in positive ways. I'm sure he will sell tickets. I'm sure he will put people in the seats. I'm sure he will draw in viewers. I'm sure he will become the star that he was supposed to be, like Cena, like Punk, like Orton, or like any other guy who started off as a heel, or any other guy who is a prodigy like these guys. But at least something needs to be done with him. He should be given some opportunity to show for him. He's got the mic skills, and just hand him the mic. Just have him complain about his status. Maybe he'll turn face. I don't know. Maybe then people would care for him. Maybe he is just not as good as an obnoxious heel. Maybe he just gets a go away heel. Maybe he could do something well as a face. But just at least this company could do something with him. And I hope they do. But, anyways, what are your thoughts about Theory? What are your beliefs about Theory's future? Let me know. And if you like the video, you know what to do. Just like or subscribe. I don't know. Probably I'll put more videos on it. Anyways, goodbye. And I'll probably see you soon.